Okay, this is Mark, and we're going to be flipping through this copy of BMX Plus. And I'm going to guarantee no one's going to be listening, and that's okay. So I'm just going to watch this, and this is my first live stream, really. So I'm going to just kind of be talking to myself. BMX Plus, going back to January 1984. This was a real blast to look through. And yeah, we're just going to flip through some of this. To other old timers that are out there, I think it was about 11 years old, or almost about 11 years old, January of 84. And this was just the best. Some of this was just really incredible. So for BMX racing, you had your, your plate and your thing in the front. And so I'm just going to go through, and when something kind of like tickles my fancy, I'll talk about it. I wonder how many people actually had a subscription to BMX Plus. I certainly did. I don't know what I did with all of my issues, though. Probably got chucked when I moved out. All right, so the best of the best right here, right? For those who are in the know, Hutch. Hutch was like the product to have. You know, the bear claw pedals, everything that Hutch made was just really cool. There was just something about Hutch and the quality. I believe there was the Trick Star. There was the, I want to say it was a Pro Star, but I'm not 100% sure. These pedals alone, just check that out. Your shins were bleeding by the end of the day, right? But yeah, Hutch, one of the best. Dyno, I always associated Dyno with GT, which I believe is Gary Turner. Not 100% sure about that, but yeah, maybe GT. I never got into Dyno. Something about Dyno just didn't do it for me. So let's see. We have Lascelles Cyclery in Oklahoma. I look at these prices and I'm blown away because some of these bikes I wanted so badly, right? So a Redline 600A with 3-piece, I guess, Redline flight cranks for $279. It's really not a bad deal at all. I guess in 84 the money was different. I wonder what kind of bike did you guys have? Redline flight crank alone was just $150. Alone. Dun dun. I never really followed. I did a decent amount of BMX racing, right? So on Long Island, we had our, the tracks, and you ride, and, I got, you get every once in a while, you get a decent trophy, and it was interesting, but some of these guys are just too good. Like some kids are just, holy cow, they're just really, really amazing. So Action BMX Cycle. Let's take a look at some of his headsets. Yeah, I don't really know Tange or Tange. Tioga, of course. Hutch, of course. I really like the GT. Always headsets are the ball bearings, I guess. So, the thing I'm talking about are stems. Holy cow, am I out of practice with my BMX lingo? See, do they have stems? Yeah, stems. Tough neck. I don't know who made tough neck. Just tough neck? Not really sure. If you were anybody, you had Mushroom 2's grips. Yeah, so I had a CW bicycle for quite some time. I loved it, but everyone just looked at me kind of like, "What the hell's CW?" And CW is a smaller brand, but they make great bicycles. I adapted my BMX bike to kind of a freestyle like bike. Huffy, I don't know. I have my opinions about Huffy. Not the best quality, you know. They were kind of like the TSS or service merchandise or more economical. But the problem is it was so economical that they were just not making very great bikes. I don't believe that Team Huffy was riding Huffies. Just no way. Scooters were they were kind of interesting for a while. They didn't look anything like this, but the GT scooters were definitely interesting. I'd say it was probably about 1984, 5. Well, maybe 86, 87. Oh, check out these stickers. Amy grips are also like, or Ame grips were also really interesting. I used those for a while. I was just thinking the other day how I would come home, my hands would just be so calloused up from riding my bike so much. And it was really an interesting thing to think about when I remember having calluses on my hands because I would do so much riding and so much ramp work. It's kind of interesting to me, maybe not interesting to everyone. Top Gear, Top Gear that says gear. It's kind of questionable. So the reason why I'm even doing this today is to test OBS and to see if I can get this to work and to put in the video, because that's another thing that I do another podcast. I do a podcast and several podcasts, as a matter of fact, but I'm doing one on this channel that has to do with video and film and HBO. So we can just bring in this and then I can play. I found this awesome video. I'll just play some of it. So it's like, this is a video literally, I think it was 29. So let's freeze on it. All right. Anyway, back to the magazine. Oh man, I used to have rad caps. I didn't have them. They weren't called rad caps. You know, they were just dice. And I think a friend of mine drilled it out, and I just put it on. They would get stolen every time I left my bike anywhere. Thanks a lot, 80s. Kawahara. I remember these being expensive bicycles. And I've never saw one in person. So that's my life. It's so great to have these magazines available. every month I would just devour, go through every page you read, everything unless it was about racing, and just love it. See a pair of Vans. Look at this, $18.99. Shipping charge, I don't know. You're still getting away with less than $30 for a pair of Vans. It's not so bad. There'll always be somebody in town, in my town anyway, who would not, they would get the Huffy, all right? But they would go buy the the Redline pad set or the GT pad set, and they'd throw it on their bike. And it's like, that's not a Redline. That's not a GT. And you humiliate the person. And then they grow up and they hunt you out. Check this out. The BMX bicycle motocross board game. It's got radical. Gooseneck slips. Physical training gives you horsepower. Look at this. It is bananas. The best part of it is the box, though. Wow. Never saw that in person. Vans just haven't changed. Look at this. They're still exactly the same as ever. I think 84 is the same year that Fast Times at Richmond High also came out. And I think Vans was already kind of popular, but people wanted them because Spicoli had them. So here, ODI mushroom grips. I never had the mushroom ones. I always had mushroom twos. This is a beautiful bicycle. So we have the Redline. Which one is this? Say PL20. This looks like a grown man with a kid here arm wrestling. I don't know what's going on here. It's kind of a steamy looking room. But yeah, the Redline Flight Crank, the coveted. I don't know anybody who had a flight crank that didn't have the hutch pedals on it. Although these are very nice, they are not the Hutch Bear Trap pedals. Also, you would have a laid back post. I don't know if it's 84, so maybe it's very possible that it's just a little bit before my time. That close up of that grip. Whoa. A lot of this. Wow, look at these little sketches. I mean, I never got into doing like rebuilding hubs. Holy cow. Or modifying. I wish I did. I mean, it really couldn't have been that difficult to do. I mean, look at that kit. It's not too much to it. All right, you got your comics. It's always fun. Yeah, GT. I love GT. I had a GT Pro Performer for a period of time. It seemed like Dyno popped up with GT at all the time. I don't know. Then Dyno started releasing, I think, more colorful bikes than even GT. So GT was like their pro version, and Dyno was their like kind of softer version. I think that was a later 80s type of change for Dyno. I could buy back issues. I wonder if you could still get them. I don't think so. The Woody Itson freestyle bars. Woody Itson, that's a name that just everybody who knew anything about BMX or freestyle, they knew who exactly Woody Itson was. He's still alive. Radical Rick. Oh, we have to read through this. We're not going to do it now, but we will. We're going to come back. Hey, isn't that Larry Wilcox? What? The Larry Wilcox action line. What in God's name is this? Those who might not know what Larry Wilcox was John from Chips. What the hell is this? This is crazy. All right, maybe not that crazy. I wouldn't mind. I'm going to reach out to Larry Wilcox to find out if he has any extras of these. Well, that brings us to the end of this issue of BMX Plus. Thank you for no one watching, which is totally fine. It's just a test of OBS. If BMX Plus is something you like, it's something I'm planning on, discussing in the future a little bit more in depth with people to kind of riff off of. Anyway, I think this is the end of this entire project. Thank you so much.